So you're very welcome back to Unstable TV. You're all looking wonderful. Do not forget, if this is your first time on the channel, do not forget to
like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell, and if you're back with us again, thanks.
So what have we got suggested today, Danielle?
So today, James, as it is the spirit of Spook Month and it's Halloween, we were sent the history of Halloween.
So a very big shout out to everyone that did suggest this to us. Bit of a lovely one. So everyone came onto the community tab and let us know what was going on. Don't worry, we have more of them suggestions on the way, but this is the spooky one because it is October. So without further ado, let's jump into this for ourselves and you guys. Let's go!
Every year, millions of people around the country spill into streets, dressed as fairies, goblins, characters from their favorite movie franchise, and everything in between, partying and making mischief. But outside of a good time, how many know why they do? Today, Halloween is a billion-dollar industry. But exactly how did it get there?
How did it get there?
Haunting history. Halloween.
Halloween. That looks like the pumpkin intro from the Halloween movie.
While today Halloween is synonymous with commercialism, it wasn't always that way. The word Halloween comes from the words hallow, meaning holy person, and een, deriving as a contraction of Eve. And All Hallows Eve finds its origins all the way back in the time of the ancient Celtic pagans with the holiday of Samhain, a 3-day fire festival that essentially celebrated death and rebirth. The Celts, who lived in what is now Ireland, Scotland, the UK, and parts of Northern Europe, based their calendar on the wheel of a year, essentially divided into two halves, the light and the dark. When one gave way to the other, this transition was marked by a fire festival. The word Samhain translates into modern Irish to summer's end. Samhain celebrated the dead, and particularly the celebratory feast paid homage to loved ones who had passed away recently, essentially as an invitation for their spirits to rejoin the living. Many of Samhain's original rituals have been lost, but what we do know of their holiday traditions from Celtic folklore and ancient Roman historians is that they were intended to connect them to spirits, including costumes, most likely animal or furs to help them hide from the unfriendly ones, feasting, and making lanterns from hollowed-out gourds, seemingly the birth of the modern pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. Sacrifices, generally of crops or animals, were made during this time as an offering to the spirits. It was popular for tricks or pranks to be played by humans and blamed on mischievous spirits.
Still do that today.
Yeah.
As a result of the Roman invasion, with most of the Celtic land being conquered by Rome in 43 CE, the spread of Christianity and Catholicism would force pagan Celtic traditions to evolve or be completely repressed. In part, many Celtic traditions and popular pagan practices were reframed to fit within a Christian narrative, as a way of converting people with greater comfort and ease. Samhain would evolve into All Saints' Day, which was also referred to as All Hallows' Day, and was intended to be a day to celebrate the Christian saints and martyrs. Essentially, instead of honoring pagan gods and mischievous spirits, they now celebrated Christian figures. While the sacrifices were replaced by food offerings to the poor, the tricks and pranks continued, but instead they were now attributed to the spirits of the saints. Halloween evolved as a more secular version of All Hallows' Eve, and eventually it would become more popular and common practice than All Saints' Day. While Halloween has its origins in the British Isles, there's a great disparity in its popularity in former British colonies. The Puritans who came to colonize America were Protestant and did not celebrate holidays of the Catholic Church, as they were believed to lead to idolatry. In the early days of the American colonies, celebrations of Halloween were mostly forbidden, as they were deemed too pagan or too Catholic by the Protestant colonizers, though elements of it began to incorporate into secular harvest-related events in the 1800s. The mid-19th century saw a large influx of immigrants entering the country, especially Irish immigrants who were greatly impacted by the potato famine. With these people came Halloween customs, out of which one of America's favorite holidays was formed.
You're welcome.
Yep.
In keeping with the mischief, children would dress in costumes and be given money or fruit for artistic offerings like poetry, songs, or even jokes, instead of prayers. By the late 19th century, children were playing seemingly innocuous pranks on their small local communities. Adults would soon find incentive to dissuade children from playing pranks. Enter trick-or-treating.
The 20th century would finally see the commercialization of Halloween. By the 1920s and 30s, Halloween merchandise evolved to pre-made costumes for both children and adults.
After World War II in the 1950s, the economic boom had candy manufacturers getting on the Halloween bandwagon. Movies and TV are also largely responsible for the proliferation of Halloween as a mass-market holiday. Cinemas in the 50s offered scary movie festivals. And in the 60s, the new television industry began running Halloween specials during Halloween season.
That makes sense.
By 2015, the National Retail Federation predicted spending on Halloween could reach $6.9 billion. Whether you believe that we lost the meaning or not, Halloween has since evolved far beyond the days of pagan fire festivals. For more than a month out of the year, costume stores show up out of nowhere. Candy corn and Halloween-themed candies dominate whole aisles of grocery stores, and spooky shows and movies build out entire TV station schedules. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to dress up as a gruesome goblin or a sexy cat, or ignore the holiday altogether,
of course,
Halloween has stood the test of time and proven itself as a holiday that's here
100%. That was a really good one. Nice bit of history on that of Halloween. And of course, thanks again to the Irish, as usual, coming up with everything.
You're welcome, guys. You are welcome.
Ireland invent everything, and that's fine. We even let the world have a break from us. When we invented whiskey, we decided we'd take 200 years out and give the rest of the world a chance, you know, because Ireland can't be doing it all.
I know, the rest of the world had to catch up, didn't they?
You know, that's really why we took the plunge and drank so much for everyone.
Exactly.
You're welcome. Now you know. Shout out to the Celts. So, of course, a very big shout out to the original content creator. Do make sure you go check them out and give them a like, subscribe, and share. And a very big shout out to you guys for suggesting this to us. We do appreciate you for that. Did you know a lot of this? Because obviously we already knew the Celts invented Halloween. Because, believe it or not, we're Irish, not British. So, what did you think of that, Danielle?
Yeah, that was a good video. It's nice to see how Halloween started to what it is now.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, have we moved away from the traditions of paganism? Yes, the world absolutely has, 100%. But I think, the way the pagans celebrated Halloween, it was a nice thing though. Yeah. Like celebrating the dead and of the loved ones that passed. I feel like that was a nice celebration to have throughout the year. The tricks that were quite funny to keep all the bad spirits away, and like the masks wearing and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But it's definitely not the same now. People like to dress up and go out and drink.
Definitely don't pull tricks on Easter. I'd say, to be honest, with a lot of the pagan traditions, they still have to hang them through, except that's replaced with dunking in the buckets for the apples.
Well, no, you can still hang the apples off the...
Oh, they still do that?
Still do that, yeah.
The trick-or-treating, yeah, I like the way they swapped that out, because when you're a kid, it's amazing. Door-to-door free food. Like, think about it, and your teeth are just rotting out of your head by the end of it.
Exactly.
It's really an amazing tradition. Of course, you know, a lot of us took away the food from it. It's a really fun time of year, and it's great because it does bring a lot of communities together, especially the bonfires. It's nice to see that that's what they're celebrated for. We're celebrating the dead, but a lot of us just are delighted to get rid of a lot of our rubbish. People's best time to get rid of rubbish, the council's worst nightmare.
Yeah, so that was a nice quick history lesson into Halloween. Did anybody know that this was where Halloween came from?
Did anyone know about the Celtic tradition beforehand? Did you know that it was crossed over from the paganism through the Christians? The Christians out here just taking paganism away from them?
Yeah, that was a bit...
It's a bit mean. The Romans should have let them keep it going.
Yeah.
The Romans are like, we own everything. You will own nothing and be happy. Of course, guys, let us know, how do you celebrate Halloween? Like, what do you do? What's your tradition? Because I know some people have their own little traditions out there across the world. So anywhere in the world at all, maybe you don't celebrate or maybe you do. Let us know what you get up to. What way do you enjoy Halloween?
We don't really do too much usually for Halloween. We do, you know, the usual pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, but that's kind of it. Gone to a few spooky events this year, so that's something.
We have our Halloween playlist. We'll always be adding to that. So if you guys want to check out what we were up to beforehand, please do. And that has been our 2 cents. I'm going to chop ourselves out of this.